asked to join this group to sort of help out, raise a bit more awareness on the autism side of things. But today I've been going through paperwork. I've got quite a few meetings coming up, appointments starting next week. So I thought I'd touch base with you a little bit about my youngest. He's got hearing problems. He's had hearing issues since the day he was born. He failed all his hearing tests. That was a roller coaster of emotions. He's had hearing aids, the ones that you wear in your ears. Didn't get on very well with them at all. Used to pull them apart, throw them, you name it, did it. Now he wears a bit like a 1980s sweatband, I suppose, on his head. It's got two microphones at the top and I suppose like speakers that sort of sit behind his ears. So you've got microphones up here, wires going all the way back, and then the sound vibrates through the back of his ears. With his hearing issues, he's got quite a major speech delay. His reports, milestones and whatnot that they do, he's coming out between 18 and 36 months delayed on various different things. He's got a few other issues going on, which we're trying to get to the bottom of now, whether it is due to his hearing loss and his speech delay, or there is actually something else going on. He's going to be 4 in a couple of months and due to start school in September. Now, obviously, he can't go to school with the issues that he's got without any sort of extra help or support. So an EHCP has been submitted. The nursery that he was at before, they started off pretty good. They had a really good Senko lady there, and I thought, great. And she left and things rapidly went downhill. So they were asked to submit an EHCP, put their part of it in. That took them 6 months to do that, and that was me every time I took him into nursery, bearing in mind he only went in twice a week, constantly asking, how are you getting on with it? Have you done it yet? Blah, blah, blah. And you'd sort of get spoken to as if you were, sort of asking them to cut their arm off and serve it to you on a silver platter. Anyway, they finally submitted this EHCP, and I've never seen anything so poorly written in my whole life, considering they sort of professed that they were Senkos and they were absolutely brilliant and all the rest of it. I've never seen anything so badly written. They did actually confess after that they've never done an EHCP plan before. Mind boggles. So obviously, due to a few other things as well, I ended up putting quite a big complaint in. The EHCP plan got submitted and it went to panel with just what nursery had put and a 13-page educational psychologist report. What my son needs and various things for school and nursery and everything else. Obviously, the panel at the council, going off what nursery had said, it was like they were talking about two different kids, to be honest with you. Very little of it actually I could say was true about my son. The HCP got turned down. As you can imagine, I was pretty angry. But I also understood. So, like I said, there was quite a big complaint went into the nursery. I just pulled him out. I didn't have another nursery for him to go to, but they weren't being how they should have been with my son. As I said, I put in quite a big complaint, and I also forwarded the email to the head office, to which I had quite a lengthy 2-hour meeting with one of the managing directors, who also admitted, fair play to her, because I did think it was, going to be a bit of a fight. But she did admit that they were definitely at fault. Nursery haven't been the way that they should have been with my son, done the things that they should have done, put things in place that he should have had there to help him. And there's absolutely no reason as to why they hadn't done what they were supposed to do. So obviously I had two sort of choices then. I suppose three really. I either took the council to court and did an appeal, which is quite costly. You've got solicitors in court and whatnot. I had a new EHCP plan submitted, which lengthy process. I sort of asked for a turn-down meeting where they could sort of, even though they had such a rubbish amount of input from the previous nursery, I could sort of, challenge them and ask why they hadn't taken into consideration this educational psychologist report. They hadn't got reports from speech and language, his hearing teacher. They'd got nothing from paediatrics, because obviously you have to go and see a paediatrician. None of that was submitted. So after quite a lengthy chat with the lady from the council, she said to me, well, we can resubmit it. So that's what's happening now. It's being resubmitted. Okay, baby. Resubmitted with all this other evidence. We're almost a year down the line now, and still in limbo land. I don't know whether my little boy will be starting school in September. I don't know whether he will be staying in nursery for another staying in nursery for another year to try and sort of get somewhere near where he needs to be for starting reception, or what's going to happen. It's amazing that you've got people doing these jobs, claim to be, they're Senkos, they're good at this, they're good at that, they're good at the other, and they're not. They don't have a clue, and they're messing around with your life, your children's lives, and your children's education. Luckily, like I said, I just pulled them out. I'd had enough. My child wasn't going to be treated the way that he was, and that was that. As luck had it, I managed to find another nursery. Obviously, we live in a very small town, so nurseries are quite full. And as luck had it, I'd heard about another nursery, and he's been there, and they've been amazing with him. Obviously, at the moment, it doesn't really seem to matter how much input we put into my little boy, whether that be speech and language, his hearing teacher, me, nursery, whatever. It doesn't really seem to make a lot of difference. He's making very, very slow progress. He's still got his portage sessions, and I contacted the school that I want him to go to, and I sort of said, look, I've got this little boy. My older son goes there. Just to give you a bit of a heads up. This is him really, sort of explained a little bit about him. Because I didn't really feel that it was fair that if he was going to start that school in September and they didn't have any sort of prior warning of anything, that it was fair to sort of just spring it on him last minute. Obviously, he's going to need things where he's got his hearing aid headband. He's going to need things like sort of SoundCloud and various different things in the classroom to help buffer out some of the sound. Obviously, with him, the way that he is, he's the noisiest kid you can ever imagine. But when it comes to noise from other places, he doesn't cope very well with it. And he's sort of very much back against the wall. And if there's too much noise from other people or other sources, he tends to shy away. So obviously they need to know a little bit about what they sort of need to do to sort of, if need be, get the school ready for him going in there. But it's just amazing that, you know, almost a year ago, this EHCP was sort of supposed to have been started and the ball rolling with it. And yet now, another year has been wasted and I've still got no further. And I don't think that it's fair that people like me, they do have children like mine that obviously need more help, more support. It's just not happening. And you constantly on people's case, you know, you start annoying yourself after a while because you think, God, you sound like a broken record, Helen, shut up. But you've got to keep on. You've got to keep fighting and you've got to keep, you know, gearing everybody up to do what they're supposed to be doing. Because if you don't fight for your kids and get what they need, nobody else is going to. But I just don't understand, like with the nursery, how you can get people doing jobs and be in charge of things like special education and various things, and then turn around and they've got no idea how to even write an education and healthcare plan. I mean, how does that even work? It's absolutely shocking. I did say to you a little while ago, obviously talking about my other little boy, about various meetings and appointments and all the rest of it. So I thought I would show you just a little bit of my youngest son's paperwork, because obviously I've been going through a lot of it tonight for various reasons and whatnot. But this is one lot of paperwork for one child. Various meetings, appointments, reports, you name it, it's in there. And that's not even all of it. But, you know, every child deserves the right to an education, regardless of whether they've got special needs or not. But it just seems ridiculous that you've got to fight so hard and constantly be on everybody's case just for your child to have the same access to an education that everybody else has. But obviously, one thing that I will say is obviously it gets exhausting, absolutely exhausting. Please don't give up. You know, if you think something's not right, question it. Ask for reasons why. You know, ask for things to be resubmitted. Ask why things were missing. Don't just give up. You know, I know it's easier said than done, because the amount of times I thought, you know what, solid. But at the end of the day, if you don't fight for your children and keep on top of people and, you know, keep on their case and all the rest of it, nobody else is going to. So please keep fighting for your children.